Okay, Adam, thank you for joining us today. You have been, well, first off, let me introduce you. Your business is Contemporary Woods Furniture,
Yep.
and you're growing your business. You're in the midst of getting ready to be able to hire A players and have a great team, and you have been super dedicated to creating a great place to work. And you're in our Better Business, Better Life program, and you also have been doing our How to Hire the Best course. And you came in like gangbusters, like, I am going to do this. I want to be that employer of choice. I want to have a great place to work. So you're in our Great Place to Work spotlight at Tap the Potential because of what you have, the effort and intention that you're putting towards this. And so many small business owners miss this piece, and it's huge. And what's interesting, in our Better Business, Better Life assessment, we've been analyzing the data that we've collected from almost 250 to 300 entrepreneurs over the last 14 or 15 months. And 89% of entrepreneurs have no system for hiring and attracting A players in their business. 89%. So Adam, you are like, whoo. You're out there, you're doing things, and you're different, and you're standing out. And what you're doing is not just making you different in the small business community, but it's also making you different in corporate communities, because you're going to stand out and attract the great team members. So I want to give you the opportunity to just share, when you came in to that course, your why. What made it important to you? What was that drive that got you so engaged in the How to Hire the Best course?
So I'll try to give a little background. 8.5 years of running my business, like anybody else that is in this world of improvement. I've had as many failures as anybody else, probably, in a good way, bad way, negative. And I signed up for the Better Business, Better Life program through Tap the Potential, and I was like, I'm finally ready. I'm going to take my life back, and upon signing up, it was kind of a transition part of the year. So my start date was in February, and I was like, okay, I'm a huge McKee of Woods fan, as people around me know, and I was like, I love the pumpkin plan. I love what Donna Lyon does and what you do together. And I did my first vision statement ever, right? And I was like, okay, I'll do the 5-year. And I did a 5-year vision plan. And, some people are like, oh, what are you doing? This is, no. And then a few weeks later, I boiled it down to a 1-year vision plan. And why I'm giving that kind of preface is I've gotten to the point where, after doing Profit First for 1.5 years and starting to like regain like just a little bit of my life back, my connecting personality has reflourished, and I've kind of regained growth. I'm saying like I'm redoing my business. It's not like I've been 8.5 years in the business. It's been like I've been 1.5 years in business now. And that connecting and all that flourishing has, kind of prompted my other strengths to surface. And I'm a dreamer, I'm a visionary, and by doing that, I part of my vision was like, I'm tired of allowing my employees to slow me or stop me or misdirect me from getting to my goals. I'm tired of my employees from stopping me from reaching my vision, And so that kind of happened right before I knew about How to Hire the Best, ironically. I mean, it's all part of the same sphere or world of, what you do in your coaching, Dr. Sabrina. But that's kind of the preface of where I started. And so that's how I went into How to Hire the Best. I was, well, this is great. Let's learn more about it. So
I'm blown away, because what went through my mind is the powerful question that I think so many who might be listening to this could ask themselves is, what are you tolerating? You became aware you were tolerating your employees pulling you away from your vision or questioning your vision.
Yeah.
And that question of what are you tolerating is really speaks to me, because I talk with so many entrepreneurs who say, I just have to make do with the team I have. It's so hard to hire. I don't want to try again. I was burned the last time, or it takes so much time to hire. I don't have time. So I'm just going to keep the team that I have and make do. And that leads to tolerating.
Yeah, because it's safer and it's more comfortable to live in the known than the unknown. It's, as you were saying on your podcast, I was listening to just this morning, change is scary. Humans avoid change all the time. And I want to be transparent with everybody. But like, we're having major problems today. Like, we're going to have to address an employee tomorrow. And it didn't go away because I went to hire the best. It's given me these tools now. I'm like, oh, I didn't have a hammer and a screwdriver before. I just had my fists, and they were getting all beat up and, bloody and awful. Now I have a hammer and a screwdriver, and I can do my twisting and turning and adjusting and tapping because I have some basic tools now. And once I get those two tools, I'll gain some more ground, and I'll get some more tools. I'll get a power screwdriver and a power hammer, and we'll start building on those tools. So
absolutely. There's no magic bullet for dealing with employee challenges. They're going to be in our business. They are recurring issues. And what you're learning with us at Tap the Potential and in the How to Hire the Best course, you have tools now. And I love that you said, I'm going to have these better and better tools, because it really is that continuous learning, that iterative process. I'm going to keep at this, and I'm going to get better and better. And every challenge is that opportunity to learn, grow, and get stronger. I have a book by my bed right now that I've been reading for 6 months, and it's called Melissa, help me, Ryan Holiday's book, The Obstacle is the Way.
The Obstacle is the Way.
Yes, thank you. I read a little section out of it because it's written in these small chapters, a few times a week, and it just keeps me in that mindset of these challenges are opportunities. Our solutions to these challenges make us stronger and better. And that's what I hear you speaking to, Adam. When you came into the course and you were determined to become an employer of choice, like that was so clear, like you had you had huge energy around it, and you continue to have huge energy around it. What is your vision of what that's going to look like for your team when you're totally there?
So I'm going to ask to clarify your question. So when I'm totally there of hiring A players, or when I'm totally there of having a better system of hiring, or what, how can I answer that?
When you are known in your community and your industry as the go-to place to work, what's going on your team, and how are you showing up?
I feel like it's a mini vision exercise.
It is.
So, again, a little more background information. I want to be a knowledge resource for my industry, for my region. I want to be a pinnacle. People go to me, and I want to saturate my niche of, hey, he's a knowledge guy. So I think it's going to be kind of in parallel with that as I'm building business techniques and solutions, and serving customers better and offering all that. I think we're going to be probably posting about what we're doing with our How to Hire the Best along the way. And I think the vision's going to be, well, part of my existing vision is a year from now, we will have switched out one of our team members, and our new team member will have been with us for over 6 months. They have already exceeded our expectations because we actually outlined them for the first time from the start, and we gave them documents and weekly check-ins that enabled our A player to really flourish. And we didn't take a good A player and take him down to a B or C like we've done with our other employees in the past. So we are, because everybody's an A player, right? Just depends what seat, what butt, where at, and what company.
Right.
My C and D employees, I'm sure there's somewhere out there that they're an A employee for.
You just said so much there. So let's unpack this. So what you've done in the past is you brought in A players, and because you were tolerating other employees, they were coming down. Those A players were coming down to B and C so they could fit in. And that's what happens to good A players on teams when they're outnumbered. And you're turning that tide around, that you're going to have A players coming in and they're going to stay A players. And you also are recognizing that your company is not the one for everyone to work at. Not everybody's going to be an A player on your team. There's somewhere that they may be an A player. And sometimes you're going to help them find a better fit, and it's not going to be with you.
Yeah.
I'm interested, Adam, in learning how the Better Business Life program helped you gave you the tools that you needed to keep those A players in their seat?
So transparency again, I probably only have one definite A player, and his name's Brian, and you both have probably heard or met him.
Yes.
He's been with me 4 years. I'm really probably blessed that he found me, I found him. He hasn't quit through all my different rages of up and down emotions. Um, I don't know how to thank him enough, basically. And so, I had another employee go through the a leadership boot camp recently, and I don't know enough about him and his struggles. I don't think he's actually succeeding as well as he can. And I'm curious, I think it's because another negative team member right now is hampering his success. And, we read a book called Surrounded by Idiots. It's, similar to the people map, and he's in the Surrounded by Idiots world. He's a blue, he's a blue and a green. So he's details and lots of information, but he's also emotional, and emotions drive his reactions. And so by having this negative employee on our team, I think he's, this negative employee is bringing the average down, like you're saying, it's this. So I'm curious if we do cut this weight loose or move the shift of physics, if that's going to change our team balance. But yeah, I think just having these tools with the Better Business, Better Life program, having accountability partners, having people I can call, I made a comment in our group yesterday, our 30,000 view group. I said, Stacy was such a godsend to me on Monday or Tuesday. I can't remember what day I had a call with her. She just has this calming manner, this calming voice. And she's like, let the past be the past. Let go of the past. Let's forget the past. Let's not focus on our past mistakes. Let's learn from them. And even saying that now, it's changing my emotional state. So these are just like this small, like, I feel like you gave me a sample toolkit. Like, look, here's our tool chest is over there. We're going to give you a sample toolkit. It has your pocket screwdriver and pocket this and pocket that. And, we'll keep on holding your hand and let you, if you choose to walk with us, we'll show you where the big toolbox is, where all your tools are at. And all the drawers are labeled. And you open each one and all the tools are organized. And when you have that, screw you need to turn or that dial you need to twist in your business or that lever you need to push, we have all the tools over there in that toolbox. Just, we'll keep on showing you a way. It's just around the next corner, so.
That's a beautiful metaphor. Like, I totally want to step into that. Like, yes, that's how we want to be. And I'm so happy that you're having that experience with us. And you're right. Our team, like, we have so many resources to share and to support you. And it's beyond just the teaching and the, here's how to do it. It's that emotional support, and it's not just our team, it's our others in the Tap the Potential family. It's our other business owners that we bring into the program that are showing up. You guys are showing up for each other and encouraging, challenging each other. In that How to Hire the Best course, I saw that the loving way that you all were challenging each other and pushing each other further and further. And I also want to comment on your mindset, because I hear you repeatedly saying, I'm curious how this is. And I'm curious what's going on over here. That is where we need to be effective leaders. Oh, he's got the choice map. Yes, the choice map is like king tool. Like, that's the best tool. And it helps us with our mindset, because it puts us on the learner path to really explore and learn and invite conversation from our team and understand. And that's where I hear you. What in the How to Hire the Best course, how is it different from other online courses that you've signed up for, Adam?
Well, I've never invested in myself as much as I have now. Until January 20th, 2019, I had read like 4 books, maybe mostly John Maxwell. And, my business coach previously had said, read. Never did it. A lot of things have shifted, and I can share the story another time. But after that, I started reading and learning and becoming more hungry. And Audible is my friend because that's how I digest better. And then if I really want to, back it up, I buy the book and then I flag the book, so I can go back to it. And so that, learning mindset started the seed. Like I said, it's been 1.5 2 years. I'm kind of regrowing a new business almost, and stepping into the Profit First was my first book. That's obviously how I found your sphere, so to speak, and then pumpkin planning. And then I knew about a year and a half ago, I was like, I need a new coach. This guy is great, but I've outgrown him. It's clear, it's been 6 or 7 years. He's got me where I'm at. I'm very grateful, very blessed, but I need a new coach. Reach out. Some people locally had bad experiences, just not follow through. And then I started speaking with Darren, and hopefully I'm getting to a pinnacle of the story here. I apologize. Darren at Tap the Potential spoke to me many months, and was very, very kind, very curious, and well, let's just talk, no pressure, and what the trigger was for me, I signed up for a beta program for Mikhalowicz's new book, Get Different. It was called Different is Better at the time. Biggest investment I'd ever made in my business to that point. And I was like, oh my God, I guess I got to do it. I know marketing is my weakness. So
do you mind saying how much that investment was?
It was $3,500 at the time.
Okay.
And up until then, I had never spent more than books, $20, $30, $50. I don't think I even spent hundreds of dollars. I mean, I had paid my coach $100 an hour once a month, but not big sums, And so I did that. And of course, like, another time I'll have to share my story with you because I'm so passionate about it. But, my connecting had kind of reemerged as like, oh, you love to connect. And I met all these wonderful people in the, Get Difference Better beta program. And Tina Smith was there, and Aaron Longmoon, who I know has been on your podcast several times. And I started connecting with these people, just kind of like, I'm curious. I want to learn more. Of course, I wasn't using the word I'm curious back then, but that's what it was. And that led me to get more contacts and finally speak with Tina. She was so amazing. Like, oh, I had this much debt, and every day this and this was going on. And I signed up for Dr. Sabrina's program, and, and she kind of gave me some hints. And of course, the lawn care guy, Steve, at
Bousquet, yes.
Bousquet, excuse me. He was gracious enough to spend, some time on the phone with me. He says, oh, your revenue, at the time we were only doing 600,000. And actually right now we're doing a little bit less, but he says, it's going to be tough for you, but if you're committed, you can do it. And Andrew Tvardik, he said, yeah, he gave me some pointers. And so like by all this little coaching, little thing, and then a bigger coaching, and then meeting people that you have influenced, it was like, duh, I'm going to take half my profit distribution deposit, done. I told my wife, I said, I don't know how we're going to do it, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And anyway, I could go on to that story for a while, but.
So in the investment, I don't know exactly how much because we have payment plans and that always affects exactly how it is for each person, but it's anywhere from 25 to 30,000. So yep. And I just want to acknowledge for so many people, when you're making this investment, it's probably the biggest investment besides buying a car or a house, sending your kids to college. It's like up in that range. And it is that kind of big, oh my gosh, moment. So what for you, when you had that, oh my gosh, I'm doing it moment, what did you know you were doing for yourself when you made that investment in yourself?
I think I had gotten a taste of communicating and connecting with these other people. And by no means, some of the people I've connected with or mentioned, I'm sure they have their own struggles. I've heard some of them, and it's not my place to mention them, but no one's in the clear. You're never there,
right?
But there's this hidden toolbox. I'll go back to that analogy, just because I love tools and crafting. But it's available if I choose to ask for help. If I pay the guide and I pay the map giver, they'll give me that path, and it's up to me to use the tools. I mean, until the end of February, I never really used the word curious, not in a daily thing, and it's just that mind shift, and I'm still in the judger pit, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours a day. I don't know.
We're all recovering judgers. It's part of the journey. And I love your transparency that there is no magic bullet. It's not a perfect cure. There are struggles. And sometimes you take the revenue back in the business a step back so that you can be more profitable. And so you can do the foundational work in the business to be ready to grow, and to grow in a way that is sustainable, that keeps you having a good quality of life, because it's that point where you start growing without attention to the quality of life that you're having. That's that slippery slope.
Yeah.
Very dangerous for us as entrepreneurs. Adam, you have said twice, maybe 3 times, that you're very compelled to share your story. It's very important to you, and I can't pass on that opportunity. So I want to give you the mic. I want you to share your story and your powerful message.
So quick, who I am. I'm blue collar family. My paternal grandfather was a home builder for 50 years. He was my best friend for 15 years. He passed away a few years ago from a stroke, but he helped me flourish. And we just talked all the time, daily. I bought a house when I was 20, 21, and he helped me work on it. My dad's an electrician. So I helped work with him for 6 years. I grew up on the job site. I loved it. I started my own handyman business when I was 13, and I just loved working, and I loved that. And I thought I was gonna be an electrician. And then I figured out, maybe construction's better. And so age 19, I started working commercial industrial construction, remodeling. We did work in pharmaceutical factories. We did work in universities, institutions, dog food plants, the total opposite spectrum from residential home building and residential electrical to extreme big facilities and, crazy projects. And while that was going on, I went and got an associate's degree in building construction. It's my trade school degree. I'm a big proponent of the trades and the crafts, and, getting small exposures to degrees instead of getting lots of debt for nothing. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to be a carpenter, and I'll work till I'm 40. And, but I want to make sure if my knees give out that I'll have my construction management degree. I can be a project manager. So I got my bachelor's degree, and I spent, 7 years in school doing those 2 degrees. And I got out and I thought, okay, I'm going to I'll ask my boss, you ready for me to be a project manager? Oh, we don't have room for you. You can stay on, but, and so I found a different job, and I was a building inspector for a small city outside of Lincoln. And I was average happy, very negative, toxic culture, no leadership. Don't want to go on about that. One day I got a phone call and said, hey, this company in Lincoln, Contemporary Woods, they're selling their business. You might be a great guy. You're really passionate about woodworking. Oh yeah. Told my wife, it took me 6 months to convince her. Finally, she was 4 months pregnant with our first child. I had just torn apart our whole front porch off our house. And I said, we're going to buy this business. I'm going to spend $125,000. We're going to get a loan. My grandparents are going to help me. It's going to be great. 6 months later, we were $40,000 in debt, had to be bailed out again. The cycle kind of continued for 6 or 7 years. Not as big of bailouts, but ups and downs. I've never paid off that original debt. I hired an employee that was a great salesperson. He was in the ideal team player world. He was hungry and smart, but not humble. And I let him walk all over me for 2.5 years. I finally said, I'm enough. You're fired. Well, I fired him wrong. I never gave him any correction. So he sued me, went through that. And then that was 2019. And so I fired him. I finally realized, I started reading, and 6 months later I found Profit First. And basically why I want to give that is I'm sure my struggles are pale in comparison to others, and they're greater than others. It doesn't matter, but we all struggle. And why do we have to struggle? My business, we did $940,000 in 2018, and we, I paid my salesman, not quite double, but more than I paid myself, and we was taking money from my Roth IRA and this and that, having to borrow more money just to, it was stupid. So we made a lot of big changes, cut a showroom out of our lease, and cut employees, and made all these changes. And it's why didn't I do this? People were telling me, my business coach was telling me, things years ago, but why didn't I do this earlier? You got stuck in that, craftsman cycle, the trap, rob Peter to pay Paul. And now as I'm looking back, I'm like, oh, that's why I was behind on sales tax, because I was paying my salesman. I didn't have money for any of this. This is why I never paid my family back, because I just was blowing money. We were doing jobs outside of our, our ideal client. We had 4 or 5 veins off our vine, or we had 4 or 5 different pumpkin plants all together, so.
You're so I so appreciate you sharing this story, because you went through the school of hard knocks. Like we all, it seems like we have to learn, all of us have to learn these things the hard way. And when we're on the other side, because you're coming on the other side and you're seeing, oh, wow, there's a nice toolbox over here, and it's very, very well organized, and it's got tools that work. Um, we can't really fully appreciate that until we've had some of those hard knocks experiences ourselves. And we want everyone who's on the other side to say, hey, come over here, it's not that bad. And really, don't pay your team members before you pay yourself. You need to be paid. And that is such an incredible life lesson that, I mean, it speaks to Profit First. When Mike came out with the book Profit First, I remember that I was walking around with the question of, I coach business owners, I help them grow their business. Why am I struggling to pay my bills? Like, there was a huge disconnect for me. And Mike showed me on a napkin. He said, look, this is what you need to do. And I was like, and I questioned it. I pushed back on the poor guy. And I said, Mike, I don't know. I'm good with my money. I don't think I need all these bank accounts. But I did it, and I opened those accounts, and it put me on the path. And that's why you sharing your story here, Adam, someone's going to hear this, and you've put them on the path today. And I so appreciate you doing that.
I want to give one more snippet to push them over. I want
Okay.
the path to open up so clearly for them. So my wife, who got burnt by another entrepreneur that she worked for forever, we don't need to go into that, has a distaste, still to this day, a slight distaste for entrepreneurship. After we bought our couch in October or November last year, that was our profit distribution for a whole year. After we did that, and I said, Kendra, we're going to sign up for this, and I'm going to do it. And she goes, okay. And I was like, it almost puts me in tears right now. And I told her, I said, I talked to, their team, and they told me they have a retreat, and Mike McCallum is at that retreat in the fall. And I don't know how I'm going to pay for the course, but I'd like to go to the retreat. And she goes, and I said, but I don't think it's possible. And she goes, well, why not? And I said, well, it's $8,000. That's how am I going to pay for this $25,000 program? And on top of that, and she says, why not? And that was all because I have shown trust again. I'm sorry. It's all because I've shown trust to her that, look, if I do it right, and if I follow through on what I'm going to do, and do these systems, and do these Profit First, and pumpkin planting, and all these other great things, and all the things we haven't even mentioned yet, she's all of a sudden has trust in me. And I can't even tell people what's that worth. It's worth more than my whole business, so.
It's beautiful. It's your
Sorry.
belief. It's your belief in yourself, and she believes in you, and that's unstoppable.
Yeah.
I'm so honored to have you among us, and I'm so honored to witness your story, and that we get to share it to inspire other entrepreneurs. Melissa, do you want to share anything as we conclude?
So I was just going to ask you, Adam, how your life has changed since you started Better Business, Better Life. It seems like you just answered it, but is there anything else you could share?
We're not out of the water yet. Our sales are low. Marketing's been a whole huge problem for me forever. Once I get somebody on the phone, I can always talk to them. Our sales are down. It is what it is. We're going to figure it out. I have a group around me, Darren, Stacy, all my, teammates, they're all around me to support me. So it's going to get a little worse before it gets better, but I can't even imagine if I was by myself, so I'm happy to be here.
We're happy to have you with us. And the sales piece, the marketing piece, it takes 6 to 12 months to see initiative, and it's all about that consistent action. And I remember a conversation I had with Darren, and I messaged you last week in Slack, and I said, are your ears buzzing? Darren's talking about you. And Darren said, I just want to keep encouraging Adam. He's so close. He just needs to be consistent and keep that consistency there, and he's going to get it. So we believe in you. You got it, Adam.
Yep.
And we're going to bring you back in a few months, and you're going to share the other side.
Cool. Can't wait to be other.
Awesome. Thank you.